live. Going live. Going live. We're live.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Happy Monday.
Hi, guys.
Excited for this one because,
it's a new product release.
Yeah, and nothing is more exciting than when we bring a new product to the table. So
100%.
today,
all the work that goes into it, time and development.
yes,
it's a lot.
It is a lot of time. So when it finally happens and it's here, we're excited because we all need this. We really do. So again, thank you guys for joining us. If you're new here, welcome. If you're repeat, welcome as well. We love having all of you. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the above. That way we can help you and you can also help us. So it's it's a joint effort. And also check out our website if you haven't, livegood.com. That way you can see all of our products that we offer. That's also super important. But today, there's no hiding it. We have our liver support. This is a very important one. And it's one of those, like, we kind of feel
it's a lifestyle support.
We feel like it should be part of like your foundation, your essentials. So like foundational supplements that everybody should be taking every day. So let's just start basically by going through the liver.
Okay.
And let's talk about, because we all know we have one. You've heard you have a liver. Not everybody knows exactly what it's there for, what its purpose is, and why do we really need to take care of it.
Okay.
But it's your body's master filter and metabolic powerhouse.
Okay.
Big words there. I mean, that's a big deal. Master filter.
Yeah.
And
all the blood. All the blood goes through the liver.
Yeah.
75% through the portal vein, which whatever, but all the blood.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gets filtered by the liver. It's a big job for a little organ that weighs 3 pounds.
Yeah. So if it's not functioning at its best, nothing else can. And that's also an important thing to know. If your liver is not functioning at its best, nothing else in your body can, because all of your blood, everything goes through and is filtered through the liver.
Exactly. And even worse, if one phase is off, it can actually make it worse. You can toxify your body even more.
Yes. Yes.
Which is crazy.
Good point.
So
good point.
As we go through talking about different phases or enzymes and things like that, it just means that we've got to support our liver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So protecting it is essential for our energy. Yeah. It's essential for our detox, our hormone balance, big one, and just total body health. Yep. So what does it do? 500
different.
Yeah.
You had that too?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. 500 vital functions.
Oh, I thought that was unique to mine. No.
Yes. And it has core responsibilities. So of course it does everything, but it has core responsibilities. One of those, namely, is detoxification, is filtering the blood, cleansing the blood. This is extremely important because that's where all of our toxins circulate through. That's where our extra hormones circulate through, our cholesterol, everything is circulating. So it needs to be removed. And when I talk about detox, I'm not just talking about like this, like drugs and alcohol, medications, big one. Sure. Toxins, the air we breathe, stuff that we breathe in, the stuff that's in our, pesticides in our grass that we might be walking barefoot in or just touch. Yeah. It's all the stuff. It also is a major player in metabolism, which we know that's important for our body functioning best. And we think about metabolism, obviously, as if you have a good, healthy metabolism, you're able to lose weight properly or maintain a healthy weight much easier. Bile production. So bile is essential for digestion and absorption of our fats and fat-soluble vitamins. Was it A,
D, E, and K?
Yes. Nutrient storage. So it stores our iron, copper, and fat-soluble vitamins. And then it has the ability to release them into the bloodstream as our body needs them. So that's kind of cool, right? And how it regulates things. Yeah.
Blood sugar regulation. Did you say that?
No, I did not say that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yep. Hormones. It clears the excess hormones. So this is also part of what I just talked about detoxing, but it clears it. So I know women may have heard of like estrogen dominance. Like a lot of times we have like a buildup of estrogen. Our body is not metabolizing it, not clearing it properly. So this helps with that. Also cortisol, that's our stress hormone. When that gets high, throws our whole body out of whack. And immune function. So, I mean, those are just the primary stuff. But again, there's so much that the liver does. So like if you're not supporting it, all of these systems, like they're not going to work.
Yeah. And I think that's what's key today. It's about supporting the ongoing function of the liver, right? This is not a cleanse, right? This is not a detox for the liver, right? We're not trying to detox the liver. We're trying to support the liver.
Yes. So it does what it's supposed to do.
So exactly. Yeah.
I mean, that's the key. We want to give our bodies what it needs in general. Give our bodies what it needs to do what it's supposed to do.
That's right.
To do what we were made to do. But obviously the world we live in, things don't work as they're supposed to. So we need that extra support. So you got to do this stuff. So like if you're not taking care of your liver, let's just go to the negative side. If you're just not doing anything, just kind of avoiding, go through life, not a big deal. Of course, you've got the toxic buildup. We know that can lead to fatigue, brain fog, headaches, allergies, skin rashes. I mean, the list goes on and on. It can lead to those hormone imbalances where maybe females, you get PMS or the really heavy menopausal symptoms, get acne because then it's like coming out through our skin, mood swings, all that stuff, fatty liver and metabolic disease. And we've seen such a rise in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Sure.
Which were they determined that like type 3 diabetes? Wasn't that was?
Well, no, the type 2 was tied to the neurodegenerative stuff, the Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. But yeah,
there was something there's the major
it's obesity epidemic. I mean, a lot of it's tied to the obesity epidemic.
Right. Yeah. The major link there. There's a major link with fatty liver and metabolic dysfunction.
Metabolic dysfunction, of course, which could be insulin resistance, could be full-blown diabetes, and of course, like you said, type 3 neurodegenerative diseases.
And just chronic inflammation.
It's a lot of inflammation. Yeah, it's a lot of inflammation. Yeah.
Also, digestive problems if we're not supporting our liver properly. The bile production and the fat absorption get thrown way off. Bloating, indigestion. We're not absorbing our nutrients, especially those fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. These are all just major things. I said skin issues, weak immunity, chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation puts you at the disease risk for cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, autoimmune disease, liver cirrhosis, and cancer. Yeah. So it's a lot. So just think if you're ignoring your liver, so again, you're just going by your, daily life, not really thinking about it. Toxins accumulate, hormones go haywire, digestion suffers.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot. So again, really excited to bring this one to the table.
Yeah.
Not to mention it's kind of knocked off 3 other supplements that I was taking. So like all in one, which I just love that so much. Love it, love it, love it. So let's go through master formulator of what is in it. So
but I do want to just illustrate in a couple examples for people to understand. So most people think of liver as detoxify and alcohol, right? Oh, I killed my liver last night. My liver, I'm beating my liver up or whatever. And that's because there's a few lessons we can learn from alcohol. So alcohol is metabolized primarily from an enzyme in the liver called alcohol dehydrogenase. Enzymes are a big part of the liver, right? Specifically phase 1. So alcohol dehydrogenase will metabolize the alcohol, and typically, let's say an average of 1 drink an hour, it's normal metabolism. But as you add more on, the liver has this unique capability to regenerate itself, to actually rebuild itself. Say you removed up to 90% of the liver, it can actually rebuild itself back, which is super cool. But also to induce new enzymes. So it recognizes, oh my gosh, I got 2 drinks an hour, or whatever exposure, more exposure to ethanol, it makes more enzymes.
Okay.
And so that's the premise of where the liver can really kind of build itself up to increase to meet the increase in demand, right? That looks like tolerance, right? Now all of a sudden that same person is drinking more per hour, not becoming inebriated. As an example, using alcohol. So it's building up enzymes. So the liver has this unique ability to respond to the offending agent, right? It can actually be reactive to it and build itself up, looking to be better at what it's doing, its job. It's really trying to improve itself, right? And so that's an interesting way to look at it. But of course, as you overload the liver and things spill over and you can't break it down fast enough, it becomes super toxic environment, right? And that's exactly what you see in alcohol overdose, which would just simply be massive hangovers and terrible metabolic dysfunction, right? But you see it also with Tylenol. So if you load the body with too much Tylenol, it depletes your glutathione stores. And we talk about glutathione all the time, and the word is antioxidant, right? It depletes the glutathione, it depletes the antioxidant because there's all of these free radicals. And the byproduct of overloading the body with acetaminophen, which is the Tylenol, is this super toxic byproduct, right? And so very, very, very hard on the liver. Now, over time, this isn't exactly related to enzyme, but so the alcohol thing will over time create a fatty liver, right? And that becomes fatty liver, then it goes to steatosis. Eventually it makes its way to cirrhosis, which is scarring and irreversible. But you can literally do all this damage to your liver right up to hepatitis and reverse it.
Wow.
So the liver is really, really resilient, really, really flexible, and you can do so much good. You do have to support it, but you also have to remove a lot of the offending agents.
Sure.
Right. So like if you're morbidly obese, if you're drinking alcohol persistently every single night, multiple drinks, if you're taking a lot of prescription medications, like statin drugs, I think are a common one people think of with liver, right? There's all these other things, right?
Or just those over-the-counter ones, like you were saying.
Oh yeah, lots of over-the-counter
stuff.
stuff. Over-the-counter
One
stuff.
to 2 times a day,
Sure.
they have like the back pain and the knee pain and the chronic headaches. Like you're just putting a Band-Aid on. You're not helping yourself. You're actually making yourself a lot worse.
You really do. You really do. But and so the whole point of the liver's job, like you said, is to filter out these toxins, but to make the drug compounds less offensive, so less toxic, and to also make them more water soluble, so they go to the kidney and they flush out. Bye-bye. But there's a big job there, and you have to support these enzymes in phase 1 and then phase 2, and then of course the third phase, just elimination and transportation. But this job of the liver, I mean, it's incredibly important. Obviously, it's so we've got to support it. But there's really easy ways to do that, and a lot of it comes down to healthy lifestyle habits, of course, but compounds, phytonutrients, plant compounds, antioxidants, which are phytonutrients. Certain vitamins and minerals, like Lisa said, there's a lot of storage, but it's also a very metabolically active tissue, so it requires a lot of cofactors. It requires these minerals, these vitamins, and we're going to talk about that a little bit today and why we chose what we chose to put in the liver support, and which, by the way, does support phase 1 and phase 2. So, great, well-rounded product.
100%. And I feel like because you were just talking a little bit about the detox pathways, the phases, the phases basically. I just want to run through that before we go into our product, just so you're understanding a little better. I do want to do a whole training on this. So this is just going to be brief, but basically you have 3 phases of your detox, and you need to be doing all of those 3 phases to actually properly detox and to avoid making yourself more toxic. Example, what this one covers is phase 1 and 2, which is great. And then the elimination part, which, we have
hydration, fiber.
Yeah. And our detox to bind and take away. But just so what do you think about this? With phase 1, supporting only phase 1 without adequate phase 2 can result in a buildup of harmful intermediates. So if you're just taking stuff to do that phase 1 and you're getting these into the blood, I believe that's how it starts. They're not, the intermediates actually are more toxic. They're not converting, which has to happen in phase 2. So in phase 2, these now circulating, these intermediates, they're converted into a less toxic form, and then you're able to go to phase 3, bind and eliminate. It really is like you can't go from 1 to 3. You can't just ignore phase 1 and just go to 3. Everybody thinks they just want to take charcoal and bind, bind. But you also need to support the process. So phase 1 and 2 is happening at the same time. Yeah,
exactly. And I know these are buzzwords, and I like people because they ask a lot of questions, but phase 1 uses glutathione a lot, but also obviously the B vitamins. And alcoholism, you'll often see like a B12 and a folate deficiency, right? So the B vitamins are incredibly important. But here, listen what's cool. So phase 1 needs the B vitamins, it needs glutathione, it needs magnesium, it needs the phytonutrients, the CoQ10, these important antioxidants, right? Phase 2, again, it's more of a glucuronidation. It's sulfation. Here's glutathione conjugation. So there's your glutathione again. And then acetylation and methylation. So there's another good reason for needing your methylated form of B vitamins. You need that methyl donor because methylation is a huge part of the active phase 2 pathway for detox in the liver. So, and that's what we do. Anytime we work with B vitamins, we have a methylated form. Multivitamins, all of our products. So very, very important stuff goes on there. And, there's other things that you need too, though. And it's like, we always talk about amino acids, how important they are. You also need your, everything I just named, right? Everything I just named. I was just trying to look at my notes and see if I missed anything. But what's funny? I mean, the sulfur compounds are important for the glutathione, right? Most people are glutathione. Yes, it's a master antioxidant. Yes, it's incredibly important, but it's actually very hard to take orally.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't really work. It doesn't have bioavailability. So a lot of people, I just tell people, hey, what's great? cruciferous vegetables, of course, right? We know that, like doing all the lifestyle stuff, but NAC,
I was going to say,
N-acetylcysteine.
now that you're
You
going
really
into
need,
it,
yeah, we're going to go
what
into
is
the,
in
we're going to
here?
go in,
We'll just
into,
go for that.
so NAC is N-acetylcysteine. It is a cysteine derivative. It is the precursor to glutathione. It is probably the most effective way to boost your glutathione levels. It's probably better to actually eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables, but I say do both. Do both.
Right.
Yeah, and NAC is interesting. I mean, NAC's a great drug. It's actually an antidote to the acetaminophen toxicity. So if you overdose on Tylenol, acetaminophen, NAC is the drug you will get when you're in the hospital.
Did not know that.
That is what they're going to use, because remember, acetaminophen depletes the body of the glutathione. It uses up all the stores.
Right.
So it's really important stuff, guys. Like I can't emphasize it enough how important it is to consume NAC on a daily basis. And of course it's for liver, but it's also part of the antioxidant process in the rest of the body. We have, going back to this liver enzyme thing, you have liver enzymes. It's the cytochrome P450 system, right? Like it is a huge system. You can type it in, you can search it. Genetically, you can test for how well you metabolize certain things. I happen to be a slow metabolizer of caffeine.
Right.
So the cytochrome P450 1A2 metabolizes caffeine. I happen to be a slow metabolizer, so therefore I can't consume a lot of it, or especially not late in the day.
Right.
Right. But we have these cytochrome enzymes in all of our tissues. So it's so important to provide the nutrients, not just the liver, but in all of our body. And then I know I'm jumping all over the place, but it is also important to recognize the fact that the enzymes are also very, very, very present in our saliva, in our mouth, but also in our gut lining. So before we leave today, we should kind of emphasize the importance of microbiome and gut support, because there's bacterial enzymes, there's gut lining enzymes, there's gut lumen enzymes. All these enzymes are so important because you don't want leaky gut. What you eat, most of what the liver is getting is what goes into your gut lining. It goes boom, boom, boom. It goes into the small intestine, absorbs. It goes right into the portal vein, and it goes straight to the liver. It doesn't go anywhere else. It doesn't go to the heart. It doesn't go anywhere else. It goes straight to the liver, because the liver is like I have to filter it before I'm going to give it to my heart. That's the way they're rolling. 75% of the blood goes that way. The other 25% comes from other veins. But you get anything you eat, all that stuff that goes in through your mouth and ingested, it goes right through the portal vein, right to the liver. So again, the gut lining, and it's super important to make sure that the integrity is there. Very, very, very important. So,
right. I don't remember where I wrote this down. I'll find it, but it was talking about the gut liver axis.
Sure.
So,
there is a real connection there.
Big connection.
Yeah, there is a real connection there.
This is also why I talk about stacking supplements. You can't just take one thing. So you've got to support your systems.
Exactly.
So you have to do what they're supposed to do.
No doubt.
Yeah.
As long.
Okay. So just going into the product, because you did talk about NAC.
Okay.
Talk about NAC.
Yeah.
So let's go into another major.
Milk thistle.
Yeah.
Let's do milk thistle next. So milk thistle, this is really exciting, right? Milk thistle is an amazing, very, very potent antioxidant. A lot of benefits in liver. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease has statistical significance for reducing fatty liver percentage or whatever. But what's cool is when you look at the standardized extract we use, I think it's one of the only products on the market using this standardized extract. It's very expensive. It's very high quality because it's standardized to at least 80% silymarin. But also, if you notice, you'll see the breakdown of the other constituents of the milk thistle. That's the important part. Right. And highly beneficial compound for liver support as an antioxidant in many other ways. And
many of you may have heard of milk thistle from like a tea. A lot of times that's like in a cleanse of a tea. Milk thistle is a main ingredient.
Yes.
So, so we have NAC.
Yep. So we have NAC, milk thistle, alpha lipoic acid is another.
Okay.
Really great compound. Powerful antioxidant and water and fat soluble. So what's unique about that is that it can kind of move freely throughout different environments, and that's that in itself, I would say, is a major advantage of alpha lipoic acid.
Also, like mitochondrial
support.
Yeah.
It's a big part of cellular energy.
A lot of these ingredients help with the mitochondrial health for sure.
Right.
Okay, so there goes ALA. What about dandelion?
Well, Tutka is actually next on the label. I was just trying to run down a list.
Well, I like that you're hitting that. Like,
but
Tutka
Tutka's really cool. People are like, "What's that?" It's a
Tutka.
cool it's cool to say Tutka, but like it's funny. It's a water soluble bile acid. Remember you just said it creates bile. The liver creates bile. With the bile acid, this water soluble bile acid actually will improve the bile acid production and secretion.
Right.
And
this is where I have the gut liver.
There you go.
Gut liver access, because Tutka is very great for gut health also, which I was taking it for for quite a while. For my functional medical doctor, just for gut health. So it's a wonderful supplement.
Yeah, exactly. Grass-fed ox bile powder is next. So remember, notice the keywords grass-fed. We really are very cognizant of every piece of material that we put in our product. But again, very, very helpful for just the digestion of fats, because again, that's kind of some of what the bile is doing, right? It helps support the liver process and excretes waste compounds. It's again, just a very beneficial, powerful.
Right. Waste compounds being the toxins, hormones, cholesterol.
Yeah.
And
byproducts.
And just,
for sure.
Toxic byproducts.
Organic, and then really organic turmeric, organic dandelion. So those two organics, we made sure that we sourced them as organic. And that, again, but just, it really, the name of the game truly is supporting the body through enzyme induction. So having the body make more enzymes in the areas that it's needed, right? Having the body highly loaded in phytonutrients, plant compounds that are antioxidants to neutralize the free radicals, all the oxidative stress, all the toxins the toxin burden that we're taking in, the byproducts of our metabolism.
Right.
Know. So that's what we did here.
Yeah. And I also want you to talk about choline, because, you might just see choline. Sometimes you get some in a multivitamin. You can get some through food, but it's actually something that we are very commonly deficient in.
Sure.
And the deficiency is linked to fatty liver and cognitive decline.
Of course. Yeah.
Like you actually see choline in a lot of like brain health supplements.
Yeah, cellular wall. So it's a lot to do with cell wall integrities and different things like that. But you have selenium, zinc, choline. I mean, these are serious major cofactors in the or the chemical process of detoxification.
Right. And personally, I'm always low in choline, and so I've always been taking a separate supplement. Now I can get in here, which is great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it's really a wonderful product. It's 2 capsules per day with a glass of water, with or without food.
Yeah, with and I split mine already. I've been taking mine split. I do like one in the morning, one in the evening.
Yeah.
Or one in the afternoon.
It can be for someone that just wants to take them both in the morning.
Sure, you can.
Right. Yeah. So it's one of those things that it's kind of flexible. So most importantly is that you're getting it in. So if you know that you always remember to take your morning supplements, take them in the morning.
Yeah.
If you want to split it. But again, it's most important that you take it. So this is one that you can find a routine that works for you.
And who should not take it?
Who should not take it? Advanced liver disease.
Yeah. That's just, look, if you have advanced liver disease, if you're even if it's advanced fatty livers and moving to steatosis or hepatitis, you definitely are seeing a physician, hopefully. And that's one thing you should run by them. And
then, there's also certain like medications that might, just, you gotta be careful with that. Also gallstones, if you do have gallstones, because sometimes the excess bile can cause problems there. So just make sure, these are rare situations.
Yeah,
discuss those with your doctor. But this is something that most everybody should be adding into their daily supplement routine. And not to mention, if you are a Livegood member, it's only $13.95. That's 30-day supply, $13.95. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a membership, you can join Livegood as a member, $9.95 a month, and that way you get access to our member prices. So if you end up buying 2 or more supplements a month, and again, most of ours are designed to be taking on a daily basis. So you're saving. But retail price, you can always buy it retail, $17.95. So still an outstanding price, for what you're getting. Outstanding. So we're very, very, very excited for this. I was kind of trying to look over.
Yeah. So what about those? We talked about how to take it, when to take it, who should not take it. Is it safe with other medications, heart meds, thyroid meds? You can search drug interaction between, but very, very, very unlikely there's an interaction.
Right. Other than that, I feel like it's all positive stuff. You guys are super excited.
Yeah, you guys love the NAC. You've been asking for NAC.
Yeah. And someone was saying, can you take all of these supplements together? For the most part, yes. We always recommend taking magnesium apart from others. So don't take this at night with your magnesium, put it that way. What else?
Yeah, it's just,
if there are specific questions, guys, that may be like so specific to you and your condition, please go ahead and email me, always lisa@livegood.com. So just remembering that your liver is your primary detox organ. Our modern lifestyles strain the liver. And again, this is not just talking about, don't just think of alcohol. We think liver, we think alcohol. This is processed foods. We have here in America, specifically, we have a very high processed food intake, high sugar intake, prescription drugs. Do you know how many people are on a prescription? At least one. It's like a super high percentage. So you're taking a prescription. prescription drug, right? It's affecting your liver.
For sure.
Pesticides, environmental toxins. We don't spray our yard, but with pesticides, but our neighbors do. And there's crossover, and we're walking outside, and we're barefoot, and it's there, guys. You're going to get the toxins in, so you have to take care of it. Many people also unknowingly have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, so make sure you get your liver enzymes checked on a regular basis, so that way you can better support yourself. But regardless, this is something that everybody should be taking. Don't wait until something might be going on with your liver to then start to heal it, right? The whole thing about supplementation with us is prevention. We want to do things to prevent things from happening. And by supporting our body properly, our body is able to support us. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand, right? What else?
That's it.
Okay. And again, I do want to get into more of a detox training for you guys.
For sure.
We definitely will coming up, and because we'll help you with proper stack, and maybe we'll get to put together a pack.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to do it for you.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, super excited about the new launch of our liver support supplement. Check it out on our website, livegood.com. Make sure, again, you like, subscribe, follow, leave us feedback, leave us comments, ask us questions. Our goal is to help you. And when we help you, you can help yourself and others.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye now.